All right, John, you ready?
I am good, Mike.
All right, press the play button, good sir. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for the cast for Mr. Blue Power Van, who is actually watching, so we thought we'd do it right here, right now. Thank you for donating the 100 bits. We do appreciate it, although it is absolutely not necessary. It should be a bit of fun, though. John, do we ask Mr. Blue Power Van which one he is?
Uh, I think if you check the scoreboard, Mike, you can find out pretty quick.
John,
He is the Bloodseeker.
how many didn't I not tell you not to look at the results of the games?
No, this is not the result of the game, Mike. It's the in-game scoreboard. It says right here, it's Blue Power Van on the Bloodseeker. Mike, come on,
Oh, you mean
come on.
my apologies. Blue Van is indeed the Bloodseeker. How embarrassing. Excuse me. Well, let's go through the players of the draft, shall we? And ignore that I just did that. So Omni that is going to be really annoying to pronounce. Omni
Eulogy, Mike. Eulogy.
Omni Eulogy. It will be
Yeah, there you go.
on the damn Venno. We do have one evening he stole a zebra on the Ember Spirit. Of course, Blue Power Van will be playing the Bloodseeker. Yi Zhu will be on the Pango, and well, we're gonna actually have a team fight, so we'll hold on there. Foz has come in. L is going for this as well. Blue Power Man actually in a lot of trouble. Nice Shards comes out from the Tuskar. Now the stun as well coming out from Legend. And John, sometimes I wish your stuns were that good on the Lion.
Ah, of course, Mike. You know what, Mike? Yeah. I wish my stunts were that good.
Moving on back to the names, we do have Exotimius or Exotiums on the Tiny, which is another frustrating name. John, do you want to quickly call out the Dire?
All right, on the Dara side, we have Fazx on Phantom Lancer, Eldes Vendador on the Tusk, Legend the Sivas on the Lion, Medusa being played by Dux, and the Magnus being played by Taro Call.
Thank you very much. Actually, Yizhu is in a lot of trouble. El, though, making the chase, but he's under the tier 1 tower and actually gives a kill away. Oh my, that's a bit questionable, John. I mean, you saw the line. He did manage to back off successfully. He understood the risks. The Tusk was not the same. I'm not even going to bother pronouncing that name like you did, John. That was some nice pronunciation. I'm not going to bother with that, if you don't mind. But yeah, we do have a 1-to-1 so far. We do look to the mid lane. Dux versus Blue Power Van. It's like the Van is being rather aggressive. And this isn't an easy lane, as you would assume, for the Medusa, because the way that the way that Van is positioning himself right now, it is very aggressive and it's very hard to get near him, like get near the creeps, when there's a Bloodseeker who can just heal up all that HP you just took off him.
Yeah, it's definitely a very good zoning coming out from Van here. It does look like he's playing a support Bloodseeker, if I'm not mistaken. So it's rather different from what you see for the
Yeah,
most part.
it's a position for Bloodseeker, John. Something we don't see too often. But I can't wait to see what it can do. Naturally, I would usually be against the thought of it, but who knows? We'll find out what it can do. He's currently at level 2. It looks like he is going to jungle a bit, maybe, with the Stout Shield and 2 mangoes.
Nah, it looks like he's just giving Omni some sustain in lane by just powering him up with Blood Rage, so he can get his farm going and heal up from the harass from the Mystic Snake from the Medusa.
It's a very interesting way to play the game. I'm just curious to see how well it works. As it stands right now, it appears to be working very well. And it does appear Dux is not going to have an easy time he assumed he would, because he is completely out of mana now. We look to the top lane. Actually, Yizhu is in trouble again, although it is a Pangolier. Extremely hard to kill this hero. He does have 3 mangoes, mind you, as well, so his regen is kind of insane. He will manage to walk it off. In fact, no, he will not, because Fox says, I want to go for this. They will actually pause. But John, your opinion on the position for Bloodseeker before we go on?
You know what? I think it can work out. Bloodseeker as a hero is not one that is really farm centric. It's more XP centric. So you really just want to get your levels up. The mid lane is kind of working out. Omni Eulogy does have a decent amount of last hits, and above and beyond the denies that the Medusa's been pumping out. So he's having a decent enough time in this mid lane, which is pretty alright. The Medusa's not getting as much as they'd want, and it's a decent enough start. I feel like the Bloodseeker can just catch up from the jungle anyway, so just kind of sacrificing to get a good start in the Veno is a pretty decent thing to do.
Well, Dux is actually in massive trouble. I mean, his HP just went so low. It is a wonder. I thought the Veno might just keep going, but Omni decides not to do so. Well, top lane actually. There will be a kill onto Yizhu. This tri-lane, very effective indeed with the shards and the stun, as well as the lance. It's very hard to get away from this. They will actually throw out another stun straight off the bat, and the lance. They want to take him out immediately, and if he dies now, I mean, there's going to be no TP to use again, and we do have another disconnection. This time it will be Omni, although they reconnect immediately. And I mean, this is your fairly standard pub game as it stands, where you don't like waiting for people.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. A bit of an interlude. My game decided to crash again. Could you give me the time again, Mike? I'm sorry. Pause for a bit and give me the time.
Well, we should probably wait for the pause to be over. It's
right.
3:50.
3:50. Yeah. Okay.
All right, play it. So, as we were saying, Omni does end up dropping, probably due to that disconnect. Like, he wasn't really overextending before, but he does do so now, as you can imagine when you disconnect. Although Blue Power Van is making the chase down. Duxus actually might just drop from here. The Blood Rite is there as well, and he will find this kill. Although, he won't be able to walk out of the range of the tier 1 tower, and will end up dropping. That's a slight shame.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. You trade away your support for the Medusa. It's really not the worst trade you could ask for. I think one thing a lot of people forget when you're playing against a Bloodseeker is that when you run out of lane sustain like top lane has for the dark side, and you just kind of stay on low HP, the Bloodseeker gets massively stronger.
That's a very fair point. We will see how the Dire deal with it. I mean, if you look at the heroes of the Dire right now, I mean, they have a Dusa, right? So they can go late game. And in fact, hold that thought. Dux is in trouble again. Omni, got to be very careful. I mean, that tier 1 tower, if we do recall correctly, is closer to the lane now due to those recent patches. So you can't really dive you can't really dive too far on the mid lane anymore. Because that tier 1 is going to hit you very hard. Although they found a double damage, they're going to go for this. Dux is already very low on mana. Here come the rotations. The Gale is there. Legend comes in, does get the stun off now. L, can he find it? Yes, he can. Meanwhile, Dux still in trouble, but Van has to back off. The Snowball will come in. It will actually connect just barely. And now they might just turn this one around because the Tiny's joined in. The Blood Rite is there. The toss in as well. And L, he will not get the Blood Rite connected. He might end up dropping here. Van is in massive trouble. He's diving. He does end up going down. The shards were there just in case anyway. And now the Tiny has to back off. And some beautiful rotations come in from the side of the Dire to help out there. We do see the Tusk is still very low indeed. He might just have to run back to the fountain, and that's what he's doing. But what I was trying to say before all that, John, and in fact, I might just have to hold that thought because bot lane, they're trading quite a few hits. And mid lane, actually, they do find Dux again. But I was trying to say, with the heroes that the Dire have, I mean, they could really take this late. And as I say, that bot lane, Toro gets caught out and will end up dropping. But yeah, the heroes, John, the draft. Dire can take this pretty late, is what I'm trying to say.
They definitely can, yeah. They have the lineup for it. They have the Medusa, they have the PL and the Magnus, so they all kind of scale well into the late game. The Radiant definitely need to play a bit more aggressive in the early game. They want a better start, which then it's not too bad. I mean, the scoreboard says 46, but they still have network lead, so it's not too rough on them. I feel like they just need to wait until probably Blue Power Van hits level 6, I'd say, then they could be a bit more active in the map.
Absolutely. You've got to remember as well, I mean, they have an Ember Spirit. He's about to get those boosted travels, and that's when he starts being a bit ridiculous. Top lane, Yizhu. Nice dodge of the stun. Legend couldn't actually connect that one. And I don't really see them getting this kill, though. Fox wants to go for it. In fact, he will. That Lance dealing way more than enough damage, it looks like. And they will continue this kill streak with a 4-7 now. Although, like you mentioned, the net worth hasn't really been affected that much. And that's probably mostly due to the fact that this Ember Spirit is pretty much free farming against the Magnus. In fact, Toro. Yeah. Well, I thought he was going to get jumped on, but the Tiny decides better than to do so. But allowing this Ember to farm like this freely is going to be a bit of an issue. Although, mind you, they do have a peel on the opposite side of things that is doing the exact same thing right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit iffy to give the Ember this much space, but at the same time, you have a lot of space for your PL, as you mentioned. And the PL is really maximizing that, although it's fun enough that both of these heroes are farming at nearly the same pace. The PL's at 44.19, the Ember's at 43.12, not too far apart in terms of fast hits.
Oh, bot lane, they are going to make a jump onto Toro and will take him out. A nice toss back from the Tiny. And Toro had already committed the skewer to try and essentially get the hell out of there. Meanwhile, top lane, again, they are going to go onto this Pango. And well, there's nothing he can really do about it. He will try and deflect some of that damage, but it will not be successful. The Tusk does come in with the snowball and will find the kill. We sit at a 5-8 now. Not too much itemization going on quite yet. We did see Omni as well getting very low on that Veno, but with that Blood Rage, he's actually able to just heal it up through the neutral creeps. And it does allow Mr. Van to actually go and farm the mid lane a bit. So, strangely enough, this dual lane is looking a lot more appealing as time goes by. And I'm thinking about we should probably do it sometime. Actually, top lane. They might be in trouble. They're under the tier 1s though. The Avalanche comes in. Now the Blood Ride as well. And the Rolling Thunder. Here we go again. He will connect once. Can he connect twice? Yes, absolutely he can. And they're just going to go for this Tusk, although Fox is in a bit of danger himself. Still, they do not have the Rupture available quite yet. The Shards come in. Do not connect. 6-8. And both teams again just trying to be a bit more neutral. Trying to farm a bit. Get those items up. I mean, this is an ancient slash divine game, John. So these aren't low-level players. And in fact, again, Yizhu maybe overextending a bit. This hero is pretty strong, but maybe it's not that strong. Fox has already got another Lance. L, does he want to go for this? He's not really liking it. Swashbuckle is there as well. Fox, he has the mana for one more Lance. Doppelganger has been committed as well. The Shards will connect. And now, Tiny tries to come in to find some return kills. In fact, here comes the Ember as well. And somebody's stolen his damn Zebra. He wants revenge for it. He will find the Tusk. Well, Blue Power Van, he's now got the Rupture as well. So this is the point where, like you mentioned, John, you've got to really watch out if you're the Dire. Because you never know when these kills are going to come for you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of synergy going on with Radiant side. Rupture onto a toss target, that's a lot of damage that's going to come out.
Actually, you know what? That's a combo I didn't even think about. That is going to hurt.
Well. See, Mike, this is why you leave drafting to me, Mike, when you play.
Yeah, but John, you give me the same damn hero every game.
Can't blame me if you won't play one hero good, Mike.
Oh, well, moving on. The net worth lead has actually crossed over to the side of the Dire as well, mind you. Fox still remains in the lead. Actually, mid lane, who have they found? They have found Dux. He was trying to go for the Veno, but now with that Rupture and the Poison Nova, they're going to be able to burn through all that mana. And Omni will find himself a kill on the Medusa. And I mean, from those past few patches as well, remember the Medusa isn't as powerful as she used to be. She can't really survive as long as she once could. And even with that level 20 talent, 700 mana is still a hell of a lot. But it's not as much I believe it was 900 before, was it? That she used to get?
Yeah, it's something like that. I want to say 900, but I'm not sure. I think the issue right now is that not only has Medusa been nerfed, but the Ancients were changed up a bit as well.
Good point. Actually, Blue Power Van right now trying to run off from this damn illusion, and he will do so. We just saw the line come in, John, to try and find himself a solo pick-off with the Finger of Death onto Blue Power Van, but it was not successful. And well, with that, it looks like everyone's rotating around the map. The Tusk will actually move to the bot lane and try to find a kill there. Toro is actually going to get jumped on, but this is exactly what he wants. It was a bit of a bait. They do have the RP as well. They'll snowball first. They need to commit this RP, and they will with the Walrus Punch. It's still not enough. Now it is with the Shockwave. Blue Power Van did come in to try and help out, but the rotation was a slight bit too slow. And now they lose their Ember Spirit, so this allows the PL to get even further ahead.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Shards, Blue Power Van. Does have to be careful. We'll back off. Mid lane, meanwhile, they are jumping onto Omni. And well, with that mana drain, there's not much he can really do. The illusions as well continue the chase. Swashbuckle comes in, and Yizhu will actually back off after this. Note, the Rolling Thunder is there. But it was more for escape rather than initiating. And in fact, bot lane, they'll commit the Rupture. They found Toro. He tries to TP, but it's not enough. Zebra does end up bursting him down with the Spirits. And well, 10 to 11 now. And again, the net worth switches the way of the Radiant.
Yeah, it's not looking too bad for the Radiant. They are in a slight lead. The Medusa is not quite where she wants to be. No Mask of Madness just yet. And goes for a really passive build. Not a single level in Stone Gaze, so if they do catch her out in the lane, which they have several times, there's no way for her to really run away safely without Stone Gaze up.
Well, as you're saying that, Fox is actually getting chased up right now. Oh, Swashbuckle barely misses. Meanwhile, Legend finds Blue Power Van at the bot lane, and Fox, he will end up dropping. So, 1-for-1 trade. Legend will TP to the top, but won't really be able to get anything done. Although he is still looking for this Pango.
Tower is under attack.
Not that he can really do anything anyway. He doesn't have the Finger available. He will back off. I mean, as you said, the Medusa didn't have a Mask of Madness as well. She literally just picked one up. So she is starting that farm, but I agree, the Stone Gaze not being leveled up is relatively passive. Yizhu top lane, though, is not a passive man. He will find Legend. And Legend overstaying his welcome a bit. He must have assumed that the heroes TP'd out, but it wasn't the case. And, I mean, this is only a position 5 kill, but it does matter. Especially when the Radiant end do really require some momentum to be able to finish this game fast enough, you know, before the Medusa and PL get out of control. And in fact, it looks like they're going to go again. They do have Ducks. Can they get him? The Avalanche, the Rupture is there. Here come the rotations, and the Stone Gaze finally leveled up. Now Blue Power Van, the only one left. He gets snowballed on. Where's the Shards? It is there, and he's stuck. It looks like he will end up going down. And so the rotation on Medusa that time around was not successful, and it's pretty much due to the fact that, you know, she got the Stone Gaze. And when the Stone Gaze is there, it's just too hard to initiate like that on top of her.
Yeah, definitely so. I feel like the Ducks should have gone for the Stone Gaze maybe at level 10, level 9. Would have been a decent time.
John, I'm not sure if you saw what just happened bot lane. RP was used and missed on the Ember, so Ember will successfully get out. Not very good news for the Magnus, Mr. Toro. And he's probably going to be very unhappy with himself right now, having to wait another 100 seconds to be able to use that RP. But back to what you were saying. Yeah, with that Stone Gaze, it's just, you can't kill her that easily. Like, it's either going to be off cooldown or she's literally going to be alone. And actually, bot lane, Tiny gets jumped on. Here comes a Rolling Thunder, though the line is there in the back lines. Oh, he doesn't get him with the finger yet. And Tiny's still alive. Now he ends up dying. Rupture comes in onto L. He will end up dropping Legend. He's the only one left. In fact, no, Toro's there as well. They'll make the chase for him instead. The Skewer is there, but he's been slowed down. And Blue Power Van does run a bit faster, although not fast enough to catch Toro before the blink. They will back off. In fact, top lane, Omni, all by himself, commits the Poison Nova, but he's gone. He did not commit the Veil either, it looks like, or at the very least, he did not connect it. So the damage won't be overly high from that Poison Nova. And both the Lion and the PL will be perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. He did toss out the Veil right before casting the Nova, I believe. I saw a purple haze coming out, so I'm assuming he did use it successfully. It's just that the Veno is really not that tanky. I mean, the PL can just burst him down, especially that Refusal up.
Oh, bot lane, Pango being caught up. Now the Snake comes in. He's still alive through all this. The wand does end up saving him. He's still trying to run. The Swashbuckle is there. Where's the help? There it is. Blue Power Van with the Rupture. The Stone Gaze has been committed. Dux found the kill on the Pango. Omni's here as well. He commits the Veil, but there's no Poison Nova, although there's no mana left onto Dux. He's pretty much left alone at this point. He's actually got the Blood Right on top of him. In fact, it was a Blood Rage. And now the Snowball. Oh, the RP comes in from Toro. It was perfect. The only one he missed is Omni, and Omni is trying to back out right now. In fact, he will do so successfully. But that RP was just perfect coming out from Toro, and that really changes the fight quite a lot. And while all that was happening, Fox took the mid lane. He's even going for the tier 2 tower. And now you see this net worth start to climb, and they even find the Veno.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little rough for the Radiant side. They're giving a bit too much away early on in the game, and it's giving a lot of good momentum back to the Dark side. I mean, the Medusa's catching up pretty nicely now, has the Dragon Lance up, the PL, it's crushing it in farm, has the Diffusal up, working onto that Mantis style, and shouldn't be too far away from it. Probably halfway there, so pretty decent timing overall for the Dark side, and it's gonna get really rough if the Radiant can't coordinate in the next few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree. Things are going to get pretty messy for the side of the Radiant. I mean, John, if you were part of the Radiant, if you were captaining, what would you be telling them right now?
Probably right now, I'd want to actually force a fight. We know RP is down. We know Stone Gaze is down, although it is going to be back up. But we know RP is down, so the Dire side will be looking for a fight. So this is the time for you to force a 5v4, 5v3.
Well, it looks like they're trying to do so. Omni is actually looking for some heroes to take down. They couldn't find one though. Blue Power Van takes it into his own hands. He does start with the Tusk. The Rupture is there, but again, the rotation coming up from Toro does end up making him stop. Although he does have teammates around him. The pings did come out, but they will not commit for it. Meanwhile, bot lane, Yizhu, Rolling Thunder is out, and in fact, Fox has to back out now. No walls to help him out though. Zebra is there. They will find the PL. Now that is a pretty darn big kill, and they did of course notice straight away, once all those TP rotations came into the top lane, they TP'd bot, they got the kill, and now they'll get themselves a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that's definitely the kind of movement you want to do. Try to fracture Dar side, especially when Magnus does not have RP, although he does have it up now, so they should play a bit more carefully in Radiant. One good RP is enough to turn a fight.
Yeah, well, Van was in the front lines just ready to try and make it not happen, and it looks like he was enough to ward them off. But like you mentioned, that RP, once it's up, you've just got to be so damn careful. I mean, Toro does have the blink as well, as we already saw in the previous fight. And one thing we haven't really mentioned, he does have the Empower, of course, which is going to help that Medusa farm a lot faster.
Yeah, definitely. So it really helps accelerate the farm. And putting it on the Medusa just cranks up her damage output, especially if Blue Power Van opts to go and Blood Rage her again. Granted, that is a pretty solid move to amp up the damage she receives. At the same time, the Medusa is going to be pumping out so much more damage as well. So it's a pretty big risk to take when you're targeting the Medusa to Blood Rage her. I'm not sure if it's viable at this point anymore.
Oh, they ruptured John. Dux has been ruptured up, but it's like you said, how do you jump on her? You really can't. She's got the Stone Gaze there. She's got the Empower. Well, she did. And the Magnus is not really around at the moment. They will continue, but look at the damage she's dealing just with the Mystic Snake. They just don't feel safe to make the jump. Perhaps the Magnus that is missing right now is scaring them a bit. They will actually TP out. Yeah, everyone's way too low to even think about engaging. Yizhu will get the hell out of there as well. Looks like Power Van's just trying to farm the jungle a bit. But overall, the Dire are looking so powerful. Dux is... What is Dux going for? Is that a Lincoln Sphere he's trying to get? No.
Possibly. The Ultimate Orb is way too flexible to really call out, but could be the Lincoln's. It's a fairly decent item here as it does block out the Rupture, and leaves you free to just run around.
They are going to jump onto the Tiny, and well, I'm not sure what he was really doing there, but he will end up dropping. Now Yizhu comes in with the Rolling Thunder. This is a bit dangerous though, although they've actually surrounded the Dire, and the only one left is the Tusk. He will end up dropping. Oh, the RP dodge! Toro, he's going to be feeling so bad about that right now. And Dux doesn't know what to do with himself anymore. He can't Stone Gaze anyone. He's just going to go straight for the Ancients. And it looks like they will try to get Toro. Zebra has found him. And now Dux surrounded. There's a finger coming out. They do get Omni. Stone Gaze has been committed as well. But maybe after this Stone Gaze, they might re-engage. There's not much mana left. The Rupture is up, but there's no mana for it. They will chain her up. There's no mana left on her as well, actually. And it looks like she's going to be in a lot of trouble. Nice Stun comes out. Legend. Oh, the chains was not there either. And in fact, they get a triple kill onto Dux. And that just didn't look right, John. I mean, she had no mana. She was stuck in the same place. The only problem was the side of the Radiant didn't have any mana either.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. They definitely could have taken her down if maybe they popped a Shrine while they were killing Taro. Could have given them just enough mana to cast at least one additional spell.
Well, it looks like the Tusk came in. Zebra wants to go for this kill. The Tiny is still there as well, but here comes the Magnus. He doesn't have RP, but he will get the skewer back onto Tiny, which could actually be more dangerous for the side of his team rather than helpful. Looks like L will survive all this. Meanwhile, Dux, he did actually go for an Eye of Skadi,
Dire's top tower.
and I suppose that's fairly standard for a Medusa. Just tank her up a bit, get that slow going. And with this, I mean, how do you deal with Dux now?
It's really hard. Especially since the entire team seems to just clump up when Dux gets ganked on, so it's really hard to pick off this Medusa. Fortunately, going for the Lincolns rather than... going for the Skadi rather than Lincolns does leave her open to all the single target spells that you have, which is helpful.
Well, top lane, John, they're trying to jump onto Fox, but he doesn't have a bar of it. He just takes out the Veno. He is still stuck from the Rupture, so they will find themselves a nice kill. And that may have been worth it for the Veno. Although, there is a lot of Dire heroes moving around. There is a blink onto Legend. He will jump on straight with the Hex, and it looks like Blue Power Van is not going to be able to survive this one. He will end up dropping, and now the side of the Dire will continue pushing the tier 1 tower top and get it with pretty much no contestation.
Radiant structures
It's very concerning for the side of the Radiant. They will continue, considering, I mean, you know, they have Empower, everyone's full health and pretty much full mana. And the Bloodseeker is gone for quite a while.
Radiant structures.
Can they defend though? Ember Spirit, is that going to be enough to ward them off? I don't really think so quite yet.
Radiant's top
Dux does not look bothered by this. Omni is there as well. He has the Veil Nova. The Veil does come out, but they will not continue the chase any further. Although Dux is not backing off. And he's actually going to get this tier 2 for free, it looks like. The Gale will connect. And the Siege Creep will be left to do the job. It is one hit away. They will deny it. The Swashbuckle comes out onto Dux. And in fact, oh, Blue Power Van, he jumps into all of them. The Blood Rider is there. He will throw the Rupture out. So he's done his job, but the team isn't there to help him out. Here comes Yizhu, but he hits a wall. The damn shop was there. Mr. Shopkeeper wouldn't move his table, and now he might be in trouble. Dux comes in. He's still man-fighting through all this. The stun as well from Legend. Oh, the up from Toro! What's going on with this Magnus? He gets chained up. The Swashbuckle as well. Dux is still fighting through all this. Now the buyback coming out from Van. He wants to come back and help out. In fact, the Tiny is in massive trouble as well. He's still trying to fight, but he gets stunned up. Legend, it doesn't look like he's going to really go down. Dux has been left alone and will go down. Meanwhile, Tiny's still alive through all this. The shards do come out. Toro, he will find the kill, but now Blue Power Band comes in and gets the kill back. And the Snowball, it's not going to really let him live long enough. He will end up dropping. And John, what is going on with these RPs?
I'm not sure. I was looking at Taro in that last fight. His blink was off cooldown, so I'm not sure what happened there with the RP. It might have been a panic move, but I'm really not sure. That definitely cost him the team fight in a certain sense. It still looked good, but when that RP was whiffed, that means they couldn't find more besides Blue Power Van, who was overextending. And he did buy back and secure quite a few kills afterwards, so it really didn't matter at the end.
No, in fact it didn't. It will essentially completely decimate the net worth lead that the Dire had. I mean, they've got nothing now. It's just a 1k, which, I mean, at 27 minutes, it doesn't matter about a 1k net worth lead. The Pango Yizhu, he's gone for an interesting item build as well. The Maelstrom doesn't surprise me. The Mech and Diffusal does a bit. Now, I'm no Pango expert, John. Do you know what the hell he's up to?
This isn't too uncommon for Pangoliers. Sometimes if you're not really the main DPS pump, you know, you're not depending too much on your damage output from swashbuckle or right clicks, you tend to play a bit more like this, like more of a supportish role, not necessarily a frontliner, but someone that can be mobile and heal up his team, be in the center of the fight while not tanking all the damage, since Pangolier is not really the hardest tank in the game. He can sustain for a bit, but not too much. But going for this Guardian's Greaves really helps him in the thick of the fight, because he's going to be in the middle of the fight. Pangolier is definitely just going to be in the middle. Having that ability to instantaneously heal your team and give them a nice little aura when they drop below a certain threshold is really good. The Diffusal Blade's definitely more for the Medusa. The DPS output is good, and it's really good against Medusa, dropping down a decent amount of mana.
Thank you very much for that, John. That was quite detailed, but I do appreciate it. I mean, it has been working in a sense, right? Like, Dux is the highest net worth right now, but you have seen him die a couple times. In fact, 5 times this game. So they are doing something right on the side of the Radiant. And, you know, to be fair, this kind of draft should not be lasting, you know, towards the later game, you know, against the draft that the Dire have. It doesn't seem like it should work, but it kind of is.
Well, we are still 29 minutes in. Like, it's not the end of the power peak yet of the Radiant, so they should be maximizing what strength they have before it gets too late. Although they can kind of hold. I mean, the Bloodseeker late game kind of changes in its role. You just become an anti-push hero with Bloodright, and it looks like Van is aware of this. He did go for the Bloodright damage, and we'll see what he gets at 25. I personally do really enjoy the Bloodright cooldown because it really lets you shove back waves like endlessly. It's a really annoying spell when you cut 6 seconds off the cooldown. So they do have some ways to deal with the late game, but it's still not the ideal situation you want to find yourself in with the Radiant draft.
No, fair enough. See what they do commit to. It looks like Omni right now is going for a Shadow Blade. So he wants to be able to get in and get out, which is absolutely fair enough. We do see Zebra doing a fair bit himself. Actually, Rupture comes out. Who's that on, though? It is onto Dux. He is all alone. They got Omni at the bot lane, but they're going to lose their Medusa if they don't come and help out. There's one coming in. It is Legend. He throws out a nice stun. The Stone Gaze as well. They will actually find Blue Power Van, and now they're making the chase for even more. Toro, he does not find the skewer quite yet. They do have the RP, and he will commit it. He knows at least this time he can, you know, connect the damn RP, and they'll get Yizhu. Bot lane, they're still going. In fact, Zebra rotated around. Snowball is there just in time to save L's life. Oh, the TP from the Tiny was not successful. They killed the creep off. And now, well, Zebra does manage to get the kill and back off at least. So 24 to 30, 31 minutes in. The net worth lead has not changed. It's still only 1k in the way of the Dire. And it's honestly very hard to say who's in the lead. It really is. Because as it stands, like, I feel like this Medusa should be hitting, like, you know, not so much a peak, but she should be getting pretty darn strong at this point. But I'm not sure how much I'm feeling it.
Yeah, Dux has really good farm, but it just feels like it's not quite there just yet. Quite tanky right now, but I feel like maybe a couple more items until he can really just man fight 1v5. Still though, it's a fairly decent pace for Dux. Is pulling ahead by 4k over the next Radiant hero, so has a fairly nice lead going on there, and just kind of trying to widen that is fair enough move.
I was saying, you know, Dux wasn't looking overly great, but then Fox is looking, you know, he's only got a Manta Style and a Diffusal Blade at 32 minutes in. He had free farm at the start of the game, John. It feels a bit underwhelming. I don't know if I'm being a bit too picky here. Mind you, he does have 3.5k sitting in the bank. He is going for a heart. They are going to make a smoke play. And it looks like they're not really going to find anyone. The Tiny is around and he is an easy pickoff. But they will just go for this tier 2 tower for the time being. With that Mask of Madness. Well, it's a very, very easy cleanup of the tier 2. And Dux will actually go straight back to defend his own tier 2 tower. And it looks like they'll be successful. The side of the Radiant do not want to actually try and engage this, although they'll get engaged on. Who have they found? It is, yeah, it's Blue Power Man. He's in massive trouble, although he's a lot tankier. But he will end up dropping regardless. And, well, 24 to 31. No tier 2 tower taken for the side of the Radiant. At the very least, the Dire is doing a very, very good job at gaining that map control that they need.
Yeah, definitely so. I think it's a pretty big loss for the Radiant not managing to take out that top tower. They do want as much as they can get. The Dire side is getting quite a fair bit more from the map and quite a fair bit more in farm. But it's all mainly going to Medusa. As you mentioned, PL is really not too big yet. Going for that heart, but it just feels a bit underwhelming. And we've seen a couple of games where the PL just kind of stopped scaling. Like we've seen it a couple of times. Specifically, I believe it was in Eclipse or Sorrenti's game. I distinctly remember PL just getting curb stomped despite having so much farm. So it's a bit of an issue if you don't manage to get that farm advantage early on, I feel, on PL. You definitely want to be a bit bigger. Maybe, definitely you want to be ahead of the Ember Spirit in farm, I feel.
It's absolutely a fair point. All the farm has gone to Dux, so I suppose you can't blame him, but it's like you mentioned, at the same time, they do end up dropping off. Not to mention, you do have the Ember Spirit, so I guess that's why he is getting the heart, because he actually wants his illusions to survive through the Sleight of Fist. But, again, we don't really know if this is worthwhile for him. I guess we're going to find out very soon. I mean, we are 35 minutes in now. In fact, we didn't even check how long this game lasts, John. Oh.
I think I did manage to sneak a peek on the duration, Mike. I believe this one goes on for...
Well, Dux, hold on a minute, John. Dux is actually getting jumped on. The Rolling Thunder is pretty perfect right now. There's heaps of walls around, and Dux is all alone. Where's the help? The Stone Gaze does come in. Avalanche as well. In fact, they can't take him out yet. He's still going through all this, and now Zebra comes in. Here comes the damage. The RP comes in just in time, and they finger him as well, but Dux is gone. Meanwhile, Zebra actually managed to walk out of all this. Blue Power Man as well, going back in, and the Dire are just dropping right now. 3 dead. Without this Medusa, you know, and as you would say, the gold sink of the Dire side, they can't do anything.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. The PL is big, but he's on the other side of the map. He doesn't have a TP. He's not going to be in... He's not going to be able to go home in time to defend this mid tower.
No, he's really not. The Tiny's still making the chase onto the Tusk, who will snowball back. Can they defend the racks though? The Lion has ball back. He's got to be so careful not to die right now. Otherwise, it could potentially be game. Zebra actually has the Lincolns as well as that Mjolnir now as well. Stun comes out. Zebra still not moving. They will end up getting Blue Power Band with the finger. Zebra, he will jump in with the chains. He was thinking about it, but he does not end up going for it. Meanwhile, Fox has been caught out. They will not engage. They're just happy with what they just got. And that is a massive win for the side of the Radiant. Like, it's a bit late for their kind of draft, but you've got to be very happy about what they just did.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this puts a lot of pressure on the Dire side. They've just lost the lane, you know, to Super Creeps now, which are worked. It's not significant, but it's a big enough amount of gold to lose out on when you're farming these creeps that it does make a dent in your income. And right now, they are really focusing on getting Medusa as much as she can, but I feel like PL's taking too hard of a hit in exchange. Like, Fozix does have a heart now, but he has to itemize a bit further, and this is where it gets tricky with PL. Once you have your Diffusal, your Manta, and your heart, what do you really go for? You probably go for the Butterfly in this case, but the itemization's a bit open and usually just kind of tapers in efficiency.
No, that's a very good point. I mean, you are right in saying, like, what the hell does he do now? We don't know the answer quite yet. They might have to go back and defend, though. Zebra is pushing the top tier 3 tower. He's being very annoying, but he will just jump back to the Spirit. He'll be perfectly fine. It's one of those things that Ember Spirits can do, right? They can just, go straight up to a tower, start hitting it, and just go back to a Spirit. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one big thing about Ember Spirit. And once you pick up a Lincoln Sphere to kind of cover your base, cover up your glaring weakness to single target, you're pretty okay.
Look at this though, Dux. He's at the bot lane pretty much by himself. The only one else there is Legend, and he gets ruptured right now. Here come the rotations. Everyone's coming in. The Stone Gaze as well. They want Blue Power Van. Yiju's jumped into all of them with the Rolling Thunder. Can he deal the damage? Not quite yet. He will get Legend. Meanwhile, Blue Power Van does end up going down. Yiju still trying to get out of there successfully, and the rest of the team is also gone. So a 1-for-1 trade. Basically the position 4 for the position 5.
Are fortified.
And Yiju is actually in the enemy base right now. Just trying to get to safety until he can TP out. And while I say that top lane, look what Zebra's doing again. He's just pushing that top tower, and he will just TP back to the Spirit, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, it's really hard to hold him down when your Lion's gone. Because Lion's your single target disable. He can pop the Lincolns really easily with a Mana Drain and then just instantly Hex if he's fast enough. So it really depends on having the Lion around to catch out this Ember Spirit. When you take out the Lion, Ember is just free to do what he wants. And he has been doing what he wants. He's taken a considerable amount of HP away from this T3 at top. And it's going to be really hard to defend that once the tower's gone.
Indeed it will be. See what they do this game. I mean, it's funny, right? Like, they had such an advantage on the side of the Dire, but it's just not working out anymore.
I deserve this.
What would you be saying, John, to your team if you're on the Dire right now to get them back into this?
I'd say maybe they should start looking at Roshan. It's not been taken yet this game, which is surprising. Neither team has gone for the Rosh. I feel like the Dire side would do fairly well with Roshan in their pocket. I think it's much more pertinent for them to pick it up rather than the Radiant. They are down a set of racks. Besides Medusa, everyone else is trailing behind in farm. So they really need something to pick up the pace for their side.
It does look like, to answer our previous question, John, the PL has actually picked up is going for a Nullifier, I should say. That might have been that's an interesting pickup to make. I mean, it could make all the difference in these team fights. They are going for the Roshan, as you stated as well. It looks like Toro is there with a smoke, waiting for an RP attempt. And, I mean, we've already kind of said it, but the RPs have been rather underwhelming, so we can't wait to see a good one. It looks like top lane, though, they almost found the Ember. Zebra still making a run for it. The attack's following him right now, the Spirits. Can he get out of there in time? It looks like he will be able to. Legend. He did not have a blink available. And so they do lose their massive opportunity to get Zebra. Meanwhile, all that was happening, the mid lane was being pushed in, and in fact, Van throws out a Rupture onto Dux, who continues the chase no matter what. Bloodrite comes out as one. They're going to turn this around. RP comes out, though. It's onto 2. Can they actually get these 2 kills, though? Blue Power Van is so tanky right now. He walk it off. The Snowball does come in, and in fact, they get the Tiny as well. And that is very bad news for the side of the Radiant, who really just threw 2 kills away for no reason. But the issue for the Dire, it feels, is none of the lanes are pushed out enough that they can really make a good push going.
Yeah, I feel like it's actually worthwhile for the Radiant to do this. Like, what are you sacrificing? You're sacrificing your 2 supports to get 5 years TP down mid, managed to, in the meantime, while that's happening, take out the tier 2 without even having to throw a hero into that lane. I mean, Yisu is just standing in the tree line, and T2 at bot just went away. So it's definitely worthwhile. That might not be. Losing your Venomancer in the mid lane, probably not worthwhile.
No, absolutely not, John. They do end up getting him, and it wasn't a hard kill. I mean, all it takes is a line to blink in with a Hex, and well, it's as simple as that. Tier 3, top tower, again Zebra. Will end up just right-clicking it down a bit. The Roshan is being taken right now. It's like you mentioned before, this is a big deal. Although Zebra is there and he does not want to allow it to happen. Fox still going for this. He does have a double damage rune, so it is relatively fast, but that Sleight of Fist is so painful. Now the Tiny is back up as well. This is going to be a big Rosh fight. The Rolling Thunder, I can hear it coming in now. The buyback as well from the Veno, and they do not want to take this Rosh anymore. Dux, he'll commit the Stone Gaze. It is very early though. No one's around him, and they're just going to keep baiting them around. The Nullifier even comes out. The Sleight of Fist still going. Dux, he runs into all of them, but he's got no Stone Gaze and half the mana left. They will rupture him up. He does Yule's up as well, and all this damage. The Blood Right, it's onto 2. He will connect, and now the actual Avalanche stopping the TP. They're going to take down the Tiny. It looks like the RP is only onto the Ember. Can they kill him off though? They've only got the Tiny so far, and in fact Zebra finds the kill onto Dux, and now I don't want to say it, John, but they're all sitting ducks on the side of the Dire. It looks like they're actually going to be able to take down one. Who is that? It is the Van. Toro though getting chased down. Fox meanwhile is the next target, and it looks like he'll drop as well. The Shards may be saving him for just a bit, but not long enough, and this could be game. There is a buyback available on the Magnus and the Medusa, but no Stone Gaze and no RP. That's a big problem.
Yeah, it really is. They do have to commit it to take off the pressure on mid lane, but side lanes are open now to be taken, so they're still going to lose something in their base.
Yeah, well, L gives his life away. Will buy back immediately. Dux is trying his best to defend. In fact, he almost kills Zebra. They have to be careful not to overextend right now. The Gale did come out. Omni, oh, he's in trouble. He will actually poison over and be able to walk away. Those Shards, they weren't on point, and that does cost them quite a lot. I mean, those buybacks coming out as well. I mean, they know Medusa won't have the buyback available. The Roshan is still up though. So the Dire at the very least have not lost that quite yet, and they will run towards that pit straight away. But this is all a bait, it looks like. I mean, if they take out Dux, that's GG well played. The tree throw will go in, and look at this. Yizhu not scared of anything right now. He will Rolling Thunder in. Omni gets started. L is invis for the moment, but he's going to get caught out. That is a dieback on the Tusk. He will snowball, but nobody's coming to help. In fact, oh, beautiful blink coming up from L. Spirit, though, will find the kill. Zebra, he's on top of it. Now, what will they do? Of course, the easy target is the Roshan. And it does not appear the Dire are interested whatsoever in trying to contest this.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way they can contest it right now. Not without the Tusk. Tusk just gives them so much control in the team fight, and not having that is really hard. They did have the RP, but everyone else way too far out to contest that.
Well, they will try again through this mid lane. It looks like the side of the Radiant. This Tusk is down for a long time still. 52 seconds to go. Can they defend that top racks while the Tusk is down? I'm not really sure about this. There's a lot of health and sustain coming in from the side of the Radiant as well. They are going to try. Dux will jump straight in. They will rupture him immediately, although Blue Power Van getting too low. He does cop the Nullifier as well. Rolling Thunder coming in from UG. Well, Zebra still going through all this. The Magnus has been chained up. A lot of damage being dealt. Dux is actually in massive trouble right now. In fact, no, he's not. The Tiny is. Nullifier again paying dividends. It will make sure. Oh, the RP Toro! What's going on with this damn Magnus, John? He just can't connect a good RP. And now they're going to go again. They'll find Dux. He will Manta out of it. Legend is very, very low. He'll use the finger, but the Guiding Greaves was there. Now the Gale as well. They'll find the kill. All the buybacks coming up from the side of the Dire, and they're all up again. I mean, John, what are these RPs?
I'm not sure. That's really unfortunate. I was watching Exitiums right on the Tiny. He was muted for a long time, but right as the mute faded, he immediately popped his Ewels right when Taro decides to RP. It's just really unfortunate. Like the timing, both of them were playing on edge. Taro really wanted to hold on to that RP, and Exitiums was just trying to run away while muted, and it was just rather unfortunate timing for Taro.
That is rather unfortunate. It's happened so many times this game, it's going to make you wonder, is it time to let the Magnus go? I don't know how Toro is going to be feeling after this game, but hopefully he does get a bit more practice on the positioning for RPs and the timing. Bot lane though, Yizhu is going to be in trouble. Again, that Rolling Thunder ability will just get them the hell out of there. And there's absolutely nothing you can do to catch this. Just look at this. He went across half the map in that few seconds. That's not very...
It's a balanced spell. It's a balanced spell, Mike.
All according to plan. Legend is still looking. In fact, he might find him. It seems like he knows where he is. Legend. Oh, he gets the stun. Did he see him? He should have. He doesn't want to blink in though, but here comes the rest of the team and Yizhu still playing with them.
Oh.
He is duking like a god. And he'll actually get out of this one. In fact, he might bait them into his own team. Although it is only Blue Power Van. And the shards, oh my. Very close, but no cigar. It looks like top lane as well. Zebra is pushing again. And forces the TPs up. And he'll just blink out. And this is just so frustrating to play against. When you're going against an Ember like this, I mean, there's just nothing you can do unless you catch him out. He's even picked up the Daedalus Battle Fury. So it does look like he's just going to be able to cleave everything down on the opposing team. And they are going to go Ducks. He cops the Avalanche. The Shards was there. RP, he finally catches two. Can they deal the damage? The Aegis is gone. The Tiny is still there though. Skewer doesn't connect. Now, well, the Ember does manage to get out. Rolling Thunder actually connects on all of them. It was almost a bit of a ravage going on. And Yizhu still looking for more. He won't find it. Stone Gaze is still available. Who have they found? It is the Venomancer. He's gone. The Poison Nova was already there, though. And that'll be it for the side of the Radiant. Yizhu is trying to get out successfully. Blue Power Van, he's already committed that Rupture. And he can't really do anything about it. He will back off with his team. Where the hell is our Ember going? He has gone to the bot lane. So Zebra, again, just split pushing. He doesn't care about anything else right now. I mean, they can defend well. Like, we can see that the Dire have no problem defending. How the hell do they get out of their base against an Ember Spirit like this?
It's really hard. I'm really not sure what they can do about this. I think the best thing is to just really leave Lion waiting for the Ember to come out and hopefully manage to cast 2 spells off so that he can hold him down. Like, I'm not sure what you want. Like, you'd probably want to pop Linken's with Mandrain, then immediately follow up with a Hex. It's a very short timing window which the Ember can easily dodge, so it's really hard to stop this Ember from just running around the map.
I didn't catch this either, John, but have you seen the Blood Rage being put on the Ember? Like, is that what's happening? Because Ember Spirit plus Blood Rage, that's a lot of damage.
Yes, that's what Blue Power Van has been doing when he can. He usually just Blood Rages the Ember. Ember comes in, deals some unhealable damage onto range racks or a tower, and pulls back.
Well, I can see how this combination's working now. I'll tell you that. I mean, the Tiny BS combo doesn't seem to have worked too well with the toss, but overall, this draft somehow works. I mean, we're 51 minutes in. And they're still going perfectly fine. They've got a 15k net worth lead. Like, this is not something you see every day with these kind of drafts.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, this is the point in the game where you kind of expect the Dire side to be pulling away more, but the Ember's really just doing way too much to keep them in the base. Keeping one lane shoved in all the time, so you really can't farm outside that safely.
Oh, well, look at this, John. Bot lane, they found the Tiny. He is slowed up. Legends making the chase again. He doesn't have any disables left. He's already committed the finger as well. And the rest of the team's coming in to try and help out. The Pango. Nice chains onto 2, actually. Now the Rolling Thunder as well. The Stone Gaze not really doing too much. They've caught the Ember. Can they deal the damage? The Zebra, he will just get the hell out of there immediately. Dux is the only one left, though. And the Rupture as well as the Avalanche. He's going to try and man fight against the whole team. And in fact, he's doing a good job of it. But that's going to be it. He's gone. And there is a buyback available, but he will have to commit it. He's got 110 seconds to go before he respawns normally. And the Radiant know this very well. They're going to try and force this out immediately. It's just you can't get caught in that position like that. There's nowhere for your team to TP to try and help out.
Yeah, it's a bit greedy going for that. Especially since, you know, they were fighting in the Radiant jungle side. There's a shrine TP point for the Radiant to just reach out to. And they did. They managed to take out the Medusa, the biggest threat in the Dar side so far. And if they opted to, they could really just pressure in and force that buyback now.
Well, if there's one thing we do know for the side of the Dire, is when you've got a hero like Magnus with an RP, you can always come back. We know that for a fact. Especially in combination with like a Stone Gaze, but he's got to hit it perfectly. It feels like this game is on Toro's shoulders right now to try and hit that RP. The side of the Radiant, though, aren't allowing it. Zebra is split pushing again. Dux will have to TP top to try and help out. But the Raindrax is gone. Actually, an interesting point being brought out by the chat as well. Rather than going Shivas on the Magnus, he probably should have gone for a Scythe of Vice against the Ember. And I can't disagree with that, John. He probably should have.
I feel like the Shivas is fine. He doesn't... The Ember... the Magnus doesn't have a really easy way to pop the Linken's himself. Nothing instantaneous.
Well, they've forced the Stone Gaze and the buyback out of Medusa, John. I mean, he's got no Stone Gaze left. Nice doppelganger comes out from Fox. This could be the opportunity they need on the side of the Radiant to finally siege these Megas. Zebra is already at the top lane. You know he really wants to get this last Rax, but now they're going to jump on him. Linken's has been broken as well. They get the stun, the Hex, everything's there. Can they hold him? Oh no, Toro!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and bot lane, they have jumped onto Dux. He has no Stone Gaze available. This is going to be a dieback if he goes down. The Poison over as well. The Nullify is on the Veno, and they're going to drop him at least. Blue Balvan is going to be the next target. He's gone as well, it looks like. In fact, not quite yet. The Guardian Greaves coming out from Yizhu, helping him out. In fact, he'll run it off. He'll just walk it off. Top lane, they're still trying to get Zebra. This is such a split team fight right now. Linken's again broken, but Zebra's not going to care about this. He'll go in. The finger has been committed, but he's perfectly fine. He'll find a kill. Meanwhile, L is in massive trouble. Avalanche will not connect, but Blue Power Van actually comes up to the top lane now. The Bloodrite is there. Bot lane as well. What the hell's going on here? Yizhu is fighting a Medusa solo. Tiny trying to run off. He's trapped with that Nullify. There's nothing he can do about this. Blue Power Van actually goes down to Fox, it looks like. And now they're going to go straight back onto Zebra. The buybacks are coming out. The Bloodseeker is trying to get back up there, it looks like. Fox is trying to man-fight Ember. He will not be able to do so. Although Nullify does come in, but the Linken's is there to block it off. And here comes your Bloodseeker. Ember will TP for the time being. Van has to be very careful not to die. I mean, he just bought back for this. Shards do come in. He will get the chains off again onto L. This is a very big problem.
Yeah, they've been throwing everything they have at Ember, but it's really not enough. That RP whiff was pretty massive. Like, he missed the timing because he was casting Empower. I mean, there's a cast point to Empower, and he was empowering himself before RPing. So he missed it completely.
I'll tell you what, I hope Toro's not watching this game right now, because he's gonna be pretty upset with himself. It's
I mean, we all have those games, though. We all have those games.
We definitely do, but it's not every day that you get it cast. So, well, a Divine Rapier actually is picked up. We forgot about this, John, but Dux does grab it on the Medusa. Zebra actually gets caught out with the Snowball. Linken's has been broken, the Spirit back. Can he get out of this, though? The Rupture is there onto the line. They're still making a run for it. They still can't catch this damn Ember Spirit, and he continues to Spirit his way out. Now the Blink as well. Toro skewers, but he will not find him. And he's long gone. Zebra's out of there. So, they do have a Divine Rapier on this Medusa. That is one thing that could probably bring them back in this game. Maybe.
Yeah, but then you run into the issue that, you know, the Medusa, if she dies, it's really over. Like, the moment she dies, it is over. It's done. Like, there's no coming back once you drop that Divine. It's a very all-in move, which I feel is fair, but it's not too dire for the Dire yet. You know, they're not too far where I'd say that Divine is, you know, it has to be bought. Granted, they are 19k behind, but I just feel like their heroes can hold out without having to resort to the Divine Rapier just yet.
Well, they have, I mean, they've got it, John. We'll see what they can do with it. The main issue really seems to be catching Zebra out. Like, they can never get him. They just can't kill the man. And without that, I just don't know like how far you can take this. Veno, he will get caught up at the 4-staff away. He will be fine. Bot lane, though, is being split push in by Van and the Tiny. So the supports aren't there at the top lane, but at the same time, you can't kill anyone at the top lane. It looks like they're going to go in now with the Swashbuckle. Bot lane is being pushed in still. They're going to TP there. But with that, that means their melee Rax is going to be exposed, apart from maybe the fact that Dux is available to try and defend. And Legend will actually find the Tiny. So a nice little pickup from them. There's no buyback on the Tiny at this stage. And we're almost about to hit an hour into this game. Double Daedalus is available on Zebra. There is a Rupture onto Dux, but the damage is pretty big onto Van. Sleight of Fist comes in. Oh, the RP. He connects it only onto one. Now the Snowball as well. But the Rolling Thunder really dealing a lot of damage and a lot of disable. He'll keep going. The Stone Gates is pretty much wasted. Now the Poison Nova as well. Can they at least get him? No, the Shards ruins everything. Now the Nullify. Look at the damage the Sleight of Fist just dealt. He could probably take all of them out with one more, but he doesn't jump back in to do it. And now he will. He blimps straight back. Everyone backs off, back to the Fountain, boys. Time to heal up. But while this is happening, that melee Rax is exposed.
Dire's top barracks are under
Can they defend? Legend moves forward, can't find the stun. There's only 3 heroes to the top lane, but it's causing them so much issue. Has our Magnus got an RP? Toro, no he does not. That's going to be another problem. Stone Gaze is still down as well.
It's really something else, the amount of pressure that the Radiant can exert, even with, you know, even if they're playing with 2 heroes down. They are still applying quite a lot of pressure onto the Dire side, and this Ever is getting really big. Ridiculously big. He's really hard to catch out. At the same time, he doesn't have many defensive items. He has 1 Linken's. He has his Linken's. That's it. I feel like they really have to focus on trying to catch him. Like, they've been trying, but I feel like they need 1 item, 1 additional hold item, because right now all they have is the Lion and the Tusk, and maybe the RP if you want to count that. But I feel like they should probably pick up, like, even just a Rod of Atus would be enough, really, to just hold down the Ember. They don't need to go as deep as a Sheep Stick right now. Like, a Rod of Atus on maybe the Tusk, maybe the Lion even, would be enough to really just chain stun him and just keep him in place long enough to get bursted, because he keeps running away with a sliver of HP. Just a sliver of it.
It's actually crazy to watch, like, how many times he's walked out. He's died twice this game, but that was in the early stages. Top lane, actually, barely missed it, but Tiny actually ends up getting dropped. While all that's happening, though, he trades his life for the sake of his team getting the Roshan. So this is well worth it. Like, the Tiny's distracted and made them TP up to the top at the bot lane, and now the Roshan's just exposed. So with that, I mean, what the hell do you do? Roshan will be taken.
It's a fair enough trade, and Roche is definitely much more worthwhile than a support Tiny's life at this point. They do give it to Blue Power Van, which is an interesting choice, I'd have to say.
I mean, the thing is, he is very tanky, right? Like, he's hard to kill. Maybe not for Dux on the Medusa, but everyone else seems to spend a fair bit of time trying to take him out. As well as that, John, in these team fights, and they were just discussing it in the chat as well, but He is always rupturing the Deucer, which means that when you're trying to catch this Ember, you can't, like, Deucer can't move during the rupture because she's copying too much damage. It's like, what the hell do you do? Your biggest damage dealer can't actually move from her spot. And everyone else can't actually catch or deal the damage to kill the Ember fast enough. They are going to go for a team fight, it looks like. In fact, no, they will not. Zebra will find himself a Sleight of Fist now. Sleight of Fist. Arcane Rune. My apologies. And it looks like he's ready to go. I mean, that's a 4.2 second cooldown. Legend could not get on with their Hex. But the side of the Dire are going to be the aggressors this game. Well, this time around, I should mention.
One thing to note, Mike. Dux does have 2 Divine Reapers.
Oh, thank you, John. He does indeed. Okay, so that's a lot of damage. But does that... like, it doesn't really seem to change the problem that he can't move during Rupture.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing to solve. And I'm really not sure what he can do. There's just too much going on for the Radiant right now. The Ember is way too big. Gets away with way too much. The PL is trailing a bit behind in farm, and it's really not looking too good. He's behind the Pangolier in farm. At this point in the game, this kind of gap isn't super significant, but it's still something to worry about.
I mean, the Pango has been very annoying as well. Like, it just feels like the last thing you want to do is give him more gold. He's just very frustrating to take care of.
Yeah, I mean, he has his Heaven's Halberd up now as well, so he can... if the Medusa does jump in, the Linken's will be popped. No, in fact, Medusa doesn't have Linken's, never went Linken's, right. So, you know, just disarm the Medusa, and what happens to your 2 Divines? It's not going to do anything.
Well, I think that's the main problem. He doesn't have a Linken's. And it's just making it so he gets ruptured for free every time. Although, speaking of, Van gets called out. He does have the Aegis, but nobody's around to help him out. I think he's pretty much dead here.
That buys enough space for bot lane, Mike. Look at this.
Yeah, Zebra, he actually is going for it, and there's nothing they can do to defend it. Fox will finally get that kill, but the tier 3 is gone. I believe you could argue it's worth it, right? Like, it's an hour after. Like, they've got a siege somehow. They will find another kill, though. Pango is going to drop. In fact, not quite yet. He's still going, actually. Guardian Greaves, keep him alive. How balanced is this damn hero? Not very much, I would say. He manages to get away. Meanwhile, Dux finds himself a kill into the Tiny, but Zebra moves straight to the top lane. And, well, it's like, how the hell are you going to catch him? It's just not going to happen. He ends up getting away for the 50th time this game. And, well, I mean, would you argue those kills were worth the tier 3 bot?
No.
Really?
Definitely not. I mean, what do you mean? Is it worthwhile for the Dire to get those 2 kills, or was it worthwhile for the Radiant to give up those 2 kills?
The Radiant.
Yeah, it's definitely worthwhile for the Radiant to give up those 2 kills. I mean, it's a Bloodseeker and a Tiny support. Both of these heroes are past their prime at 65 minutes. They're really not going to do much in teamfights anyway. Taking out an objective which gives Ember more buildings to chip away is a much bigger win for the Radiant. I mean, you know, the Bloodseeker's been doing work, yes, but it's been very limited the past, I'd say, 15 to 20 minutes now. It's been very, very limited what he can do, and it's a rather curious talent build as well, going for the max Thirst, MS, and damage, since you're really not going to be alive long enough to see the enemy team drop low enough to get significant gains from that talent. I feel like if Van actually went for the Bloodrite cooldown, he could stand a bit further back and just really spam the Bloodrite. Like, every 6 seconds, that's a huge AoE silence. It's really game-changing if you manage to just spam it out.
Now, it certainly is an interesting choice to make. John, another interesting choice that is one of your favorites, the Aghanim Scepter on the line, is up and ready to go. It looks like mid lane they are going to engage, although no, the Venom will back off immediately, so Omni wants to get out the BKB just in time. Now the Poison over as well, but the push is coming in, and look at the damage on Omni. Meanwhile, Blue Power Man goes straight onto the Tusk, although Dux is there and just destroys him. Now the Rolling Thunder comes in. Yizhu has to be so careful. The Stone Gaze does protect their Phantom Lancer as well. And it looks like they're not going to get anyone from the side of the Dire, although they do save their racks. Well, the Dire are still running. Here comes Zebra. The Chains does get onto the Magnus. The RP is available, but it's not really worth committing it right now. Toro, he will end up dropping. No towers have been taken though. So they get a kill, they force a buyback, but that's all that happened from the side of the Dire. And now Dux has been called out. Look at this. They know exactly where he is. Omni will actually jump onto him by himself, and Yizhu is there. He does end up dropping. Legend actually takes him out with the finger. That was very questionable coming out from the Veno to go in that early. And now I don't even know if they can take Dux out. They're going to try for it. Avalanche is there. The toss is there as well. The Blood Rite coming in. There is no Stone Gaze, but that Divine Rapier damage is absolutely massive. Tiny, he'll end up dropping. Meanwhile, Zebra still trying to fight through all this. He will back off. And, oh, is that a buyback coming out from Omni? It actually was. He's going to go down a second time, though. That's a dieback from him. And that is very bad news. They want to take this team fight, but I don't know if this is the one they really, like, need to take. The Sleight of Fist dealing a lot itself. Dux, though, look at him heal up with that lifesteal. Can they take him out finally? No, they cannot. The Rupture was there. Oh, the Sleight of Fist crit. It is enough. The Divine Rapiers are on the deck. Meanwhile, and they do get Legend. And, well, what do you know? There's a Tusk there as well to be taken. And they will take him slowly. So 2 Divine Rapiers on the deck. Obviously, you're going to give them to Zebra, considering he just can't die. Looks like Legend comes in by himself. Fox comes in as well as Dux. They want at least one of them back. He will go pick up one. Tiny in a bit of trouble right now, although Yizhu is gone. And now Tiny's gone as well. So 4 down for the side of the Radiant. They do steal one of the Divine Rapiers, but don't manage to get both of them. Buybacks are coming out, although 3 heroes on the side of the Radiant, John. No buyback available. This could be problematic for them.
I think that was a worthwhile fight for the Radiant. They got some chip damage onto the Ancients as well, since it got that mid lane was shoved in, so it's worthwhile. Just grabbing even 1 Divine at this point is pretty big. Medusa is really depending on those for her DPS output, and just losing half of that, you know, 2 Divines, losing half of your main DPS output is big. Like, she's already struggling to kill off Tiny and the Bloodseeker in a prolonged team fight. Without one of her Divine Rapiers, it just slows her down even more.
Well, it looks like Zebra. Oh, Zebra! Did you see that crit from Dux?
Yeah, that's really close. See, if she had 2 of her Divines there, that would be a kill.
That is a real shame. I mean, Zebra, he does have a buyback, I believe. Yeah, he does, but no, in fact, he doesn't. It's on cooldown. I didn't actually notice him dying, which is strange, but no, he does have a buyback. He hasn't died. I was looking at the wrong person. He's got 19k in the bank, by the way.
Yeah, he has 51k in net worth. It's not much you really go for now once you have that much gold.
My goodness.
It's really hard to say how you itemize beyond this point. Like, we've reached a point where pretty much 6-slotted in nearly every single hero. And it's really hard to say how you itemize on the Ember. I'd say the key thing now is itemization in sports. As you reach late game, the focus goes on them to start to build up, and in that sense, it's looking better for the Dire side. Tusk does have a Hex up and running. Lion has not progressed past the Aghanim's Gem, and I'm actually not too happy with the talent choice here on Lion. I'm going for Finger of Death damage and the HP talent. Granted, I mean, 200 damage is nice. You're gonna go for the Ags anyway, right? You'd think it works well, but I feel like since you're expecting a long game, you'd get much more value from the gold per minute. 120. If you got that earlier on when he was 15, like what, half an hour ago, he'd be much richer right now.
I mean, indeed. He really would be. That is a massive mistake on his part. I suppose he wasn't really expecting it to go this late. I wasn't, John, when I first started casting this game, but we're at 71 minutes in.
Dire's bottom shrine is under attack.
Zebra is taking another shrine at the top lane, at the bot lane, which I can't believe hasn't been taken yet. He does manage to get it and will get away and force a TP from Fox, and indeed the line as well. I think as well as that, I mean, Zebra's not going to care about losing Divines. He's got so much money that he's going to be able to afford. I think he can actually afford 3 Divines right now.
I feel like I want to say 2 Divine.
He's buying Moonshards. Is he using it on himself?
He used one on himself. I believe he's gifted him the
No, no,
rest.
look at him.
Yeah, he's used one on himself. He's gifting the rest to his teammates.
I thought they needed to be
Given-
near you to be able to gift them.
No, I think it's still global
Oh,
to feed it to someone.
no, you are
It just-
correct.
Feed it to Venno and to Tiny. And I really feel like Tiny needed it because he's gone so long with, what, 1.6 second attack because he has absolutely no items to help him with its attack speed. Getting this Moonshard is pretty big. It should help with a push.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a disgusting attack speed for Tiny, but not any longer. Zebra, however, forced to come back down to the bot lane to defend while his team is actually taking Roshan. And it looks like the Dire side aren't really aware of this happening. This will be a refresher shard as well, going to the way of the Radiant. Question is, who do they give it to? They will give it to the Venom for the time being. The Aegis is on the deck. Someone has to grab it. Ice Rupture comes out onto the PL, and well, Fox going to have a bit of a tough time getting out, and oh, the Hex misses barely. The Blood Right was there just in time, and now Legend's in massive trouble. In fact, in the base right now, what the hell's Tusk doing there? He snowballed all the way in. Legend, oh, nice AoE finger, but it won't be enough. 2 down for the side of the Dire, and that's very, very sloppy play coming out from them. Ducks in the mid lane will be the next target. Can they catch him? Looks like the Tiny is looking. Nice TP away though. He will get out successfully.
Right, so this is my issue with big cores like Medusa, big cores like Tinker. They get really big at the end game. At the same time, they are gold sinks, Mike. All the farm will go to them because they're the ones clearing out the creep wave. If you take a look at the net worth, right now, 3 heroes are behind the Bloodseeker network, Mike. That means only the Medusa and the PL are above.
It's not
Even the
good.
Magnus is below the Bloodseeker right now, man. The Magnus, but you want to have a refresher by this point.
I
Has
think that
nothing.
he's actually caught out the Ember Spirit though, John. Zebra goes down, and Fox, well, Van comes in to get the Divine Rapier, but this doesn't look too good. He will get the Rupture. The Rolling Thunder as well. Can he get out of this one? Fox is making the chase. Nice Rolling Thunder comes in. Fox needs a bit of help here, but nobody's really coming to help him out. And well, here comes Dusa, but again, Dux isn't really what they need. I feel like the Magnus should be here, but he's just nowhere to be seen. They will stop the TP though, and Power Van, he wanted to keep that Divine for himself. He will not be able to do so. The buyback is immediate from Zebra. And I can't believe this game is still this back and forth. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, there's 2 Divines back onto Dux now. Like, what is even going on in this game?
I wish I knew, Mike. That's a pretty big pick-off. Giving Medusa back on the Rapier is really big. Now it's going to be a hard time again. It looks like Zebra is going for a Divine of his own now, which is alright, I suppose. He does need the damage output, but he doesn't have a buyback, so if he falls now, the game can possibly end.
Well, it is a big issue. He's got to be careful not to die. That was his 3rd death of the game. And it is one of those things, like, he does need those rapiers. Once you get a taste of it, you need it again. It's a bit of a shame he bought all those moon shards, it looks like, but nevertheless, he'll be able to get one very soon. This will, however, mean they can't really make any kind of push happen onto the Dire side until he really does pick one up, or alternatively steal the back off Dux, who's actually opted to put his Eye of Skadi in his backpack and have the Daedalus Satanic and the Hurricane Pike out. I'm not sure about this.
I don't think that's a smart move. If you take a look at Medusa's HP and mana, it's really not high. He doesn't have any stat items besides the Satanic, I guess. No HP to speak of, not enough mana to really sustain in a big team fight. I feel like the Hurricane Pike is not a priority over the Skadi. It's just, the Skadi gives you so much more. I'm not sure if it's worthwhile having the Hurricane Pike in.
I would agree with you. I mean, it's one thing to have damage, it's another thing to be able to sustain long enough to use it. They will go to the bot lane. Omni has already scouted them out. Can they make this jump? The TP is coming in. They want to go for this. Divine is up onto Zebra. Dux already cops one crit. He will get out before the Stone Gaze. And the RP, who is that on? I don't even see. They've got Omni at the least. Now Yizhu trying to back out. Again, that Divine Rapier damage is quite a lot, but he will be out of there successfully. Although, I can't say the same for Tiny. He is trapped up. And, well, a 2k crit will do the job. He does have an Aegis. Now the buyback's coming in. Omni wants to come back and help. Where's the Ember? He has gone to the top lane. And well, the Tiny is gone again. He buys back. This is it for the buybacks of the Radiant. I don't believe they have any more at this point. They're going to jump in with Omni, but again, the damage is too massive. He does have a cheese though. He'll survive. Now Power Van's going to be the one to survive, and he will not. He has the buyback. He'll commit it. Now the Nullify comes in onto Tiny. Can they defend against Dux on this Dusa? Meanwhile, top lane, the range, or the melee racks, I should say, is gone. Zebra actually just rattled it out. Fox is still trying to man fight this, but he's gone. And the Divine Rapiers are on the deck. Dusa actually died through all this? Wow.
Oh, that is massive.
Yeah, it really is, John. There's Divines all over the map now. Power Van's actually got 2 for himself. So don't worry about that position 4 he was playing. He's now... Well, he's now the carry. I mean, he's hitting the hardest right clicks of the game. They are going to that bot, the bot racks. I mean, it is a melee racks, but it's the only one left. And it's a lot simpler when you've only got one to go for.
Yeah, and Medusa has no damage output anymore. Like, without that Divine, she hits for pebbles. Even with crits, it's nothing in comparison.
They're going to go for a Dux. This is going to be a dieback. The Stone Gaze is there, but this could be it. I can't imagine they back off out of this. Although here comes Falk to try and help out. Again, there's no damage coming out from Medusa. Rolling Thunder goes in, and looks like Omni will try to help out. There is still a PL trying to deal as much damage as he can, but he really can't do anything. And he will end up dropping, and this is going to be GG well played, John. There's nothing left. Tusk does get caught. Does end up getting taken down. He has a buyback, but that's not really going to help. You've only got a line and a Tusk left. The Ancient is exposed. Power Van's hitting for 700 damage right now. All they have to do is right-click this damn Ancient. They won't do it. And now they do, and that will be GG well played. 79 minutes and 15 seconds in.
Well, I mean,
how do you feel about that game?
What is there to say? What's there to say? You have a Medusa who sucks up all the farm. Your every other hero suffers because of that. The PL can't keep up because the Medusa just clears every single camp, every single lane out. Your Magnus stops itemizing after the Shiva's Guard. I mean, that's the issue, right? You have a gold sync, which scales really well with gold. At the same time, it's going to sacrifice every single other hero you have in your team. And by 70 minutes in, the farm prioritization switches out from your POS 1, POS 2, POS 3, up to the supports. Your supports have to start catching up by 70 minutes in, and it just couldn't happen for the Dark side because Medusa soaks up all the farm.
It's a shame. I mean, we talked about it many times during live casts of pro games, but that's generally what happens, and, well, it happened. And some rather questionable plays as well from the side of the Dire do cause all that to happen. But, John, that game's over, so that's 2 down. I believe we'll be doing a third.
Yep.
We will have a 5-minute break. I mean, that was an 80-minute game we just watched. We should say thank you to Blue Power Van for the very entertaining game indeed. But we'll move on to the next game. We're going to have to restart the stream as per usual to save the VOD, but we'll restart the stream straight away, and me and John will be back with you in 5 minutes or so if you are wanting to watch further. Be right back, guys.